World Changers. Historical figures await to join your team. Can you make the best historical dream team? Let's begin. The number of cards used in a game will vary depending on the number of players. For example, 24 cards will be used when there are 4 players. Randomly select 24 cards and discard the remaining unused cards. These discarded cards will not be used for the entirety of the game. Shuffle the selected cards to make a drop pile and place it in the center. Each player will take 2 cards from the drop pile and keep them hidden as hand cards. Each player will also take a player chip and place it in front of them, action side up. Lay out 3 cards from the draw pile and place them face up next to the draw pile. This area is called the void. Place all the reminder tokens near where players can reach them. Setup complete. You are now ready to play the game. The goal of the game is to draft cards, with each card having a unique effect and legacy value. When there are no more cards left in the void, or if each player passes in succession, the player with the highest total legacy value wins. First, choose a starting player. Turns will proceed in a clockwise order from the starting player. On your turn, you may perform one of 2 actions: invite or pass. You can only perform one action over the other. Pass action simply allows you to pass when it's your turn. To pass, simply turn your player chip over the rocket side faces up. You cannot perform any actions or moves when you decide to pass. Your turn has now ended and it is the next player's turn. Invite action allows you to bring in a card to become a part of your member. Inviting cards into your member allows you to accumulate legacy values and or activate certain effects found on that card. Legacy values are shown on the top left corner of every card. Effects are shown at the bottom. A card must be your member in order for you to accumulate its legacy value scores and or to activate effects. To make a member, take 1 card from the void or from your hand cards and lay it down in front of you. You cannot invite a card from the dummy pile. There are 3 types of effects that can be activated. They are invite, trigger, and end effects. Invite effect. This effect is activated immediately after it becomes your member. Trigger effect. This effect gets activated if certain conditions occur during gameplay. End effect. This effect is activated at the end of the game before scores are calculated. Once you have completed your move and there are less than 3 cards in the void, choose a card from your hand and place it into the void. If the void has 3 cards, leave it as it is. If you've depleted your hand and the void still does not have 3 cards, then take a card from the draw pile and fill up the void until it reaches 3 cards. Lastly, take cards from the draw pile until you have 2 cards in your hand. Once this has been completed, move on to the next player's turn. Here is the invite action summary. Reminder tokens can help you keep track of effects that aren't really activated. Let's look at this card. Invite effects are not activated in your next turn. Since this effect will not trigger immediately, you may forget about it as the game progresses. Placing a reminder token to this card will help you remember its effects when the time comes. The game ends when there are no more cards left in the void and draw pile, or if all players have passed in succession. When the game ends, activate and resolve all end effects and calculate the total legacy value of your member. Player with the highest legacy value wins. In the case of a tie, the player with the most member wins. That's it for World Changers.